gratefully
I accept your nomination
for the presidency of the United States.
Every 4 years, Americans get to hear a lot about the DNC and the RNC, the Democratic National Convention and the Republican National Convention. Essentially, this is where Democratic and Republican parties each come together during a general election year to formally name and hype up their candidates. It's a presidential ritual dating back to the 1830s. But this year, traditions are being reinvented on the fly, with coronavirus and all. Here's a look at how the Democratic and Republican conventions will be different in 2020, and maybe for campaigns to come.
Well, everything is different about the conventions this year, and that is they basically don't exist. They're a virtual block party. They're a giant Zoom meeting.
Unlike previous conventions, there will be no roaring crowds of delegates, no balloon drops, and no wall-to-wall parties this year. Both Democrats and Republicans will offer mostly virtual programs, featuring speeches and events from around the country. Democrats have even designed a virtual video control room to take in hundreds of feeds, with the potential to interact with Americans nationwide. The real challenge will be to generate excitement and motivate the party faithful, while encouraging independents and infrequent voters to take a look. One plus for party unity: there won't be any booing. The primetime speeches will be more intimate this year. Democrats scrapped plans to have Joe Biden accept his party's nomination in person in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, a closely contested state. Instead, the former vice president will speak to the nation from his home state of Delaware. Even though Biden currently leads Trump in opinion polls, he has been largely booted off the campaign trail by the pandemic.
That he can't beat the pandemic.
Trump, meanwhile, has continued to command heavy media attention with his White House briefings and campaign events.
After I hopefully get elected,
Trump has said giving the acceptance speech at the White House would be the least expensive and most convenient option. He's also considering to officially accept the Republican nomination in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is another election swing state, and Gettysburg was the location of a decisive 1863 Civil War battle. It was here where Republican President Abraham Lincoln delivered his Gettysburg Address, one of the best-known speeches in U.S. history. So is this the end of an era? In recent years, critics have criticized the DNCs and RNCs as being tightly scripted party advertisements, drained of political drama and relevance. The coronavirus seems to have brought the imminent demise of traditional American political conventions. But will the changes be permanent?
I think when there's an ability to hold a large-scale event again, the conventions will return. And that's because the parties need them. They're a vehicle for giving donors perks. It's a way for Democrats and Republicans all around the country to meet each other and to basically build their own networks, which is just not possible in the same way online. So I think the conventions in 4 years will pretty much be like they've been.